All right, well, we do have some big updates on EA Sports NCAA 25 coming out, possibly including both broadcast teams and hopefully the scoreboards and the graphics. That's what I'm really concerned about when it comes to this new game. When you look at Madden and the issues that they've had not being able to use the scoreboards of Fox, CBS, and all the others, but taking a look at the updated stuff, all 134 FBS teams will be in the game, including Notre Dame. By the way, I love that Notre Dame, it was like a question, will Notre Dame be in this video game? Of course they were going to be in this video game. It would be just ridiculous to take some type of moral stand or something and completely exclude yourself from an extremely popular game. The players get $600 and a copy of the game. I wonder how those negotiations went, because originally they were saying the players were going to get $500. I guess they upped it to $600, and they're supposed to opt into the game via an app. More than 11,000 players are expected to be in the game. Now, when it comes to speculation of who might not be in this game, remember last year what was happening with Caleb Williams. He was demanding more from them. He thought $500, which was the original rumor, was not enough. Could we see some potential big names take a stand and say they're not going to be in the game? I highly doubt it. There might be a few players, but in terms of a video game like this, why it was so stupid for Caleb Williams to come out and say that, this is like free publicity. Like the whole idea of, you can't use my name, image, likeness to make revenue and make money off of me. Well, now they are giving players $600, but on top of that, the players are going to become more popular if they're in the game as fans start playing as them. So I would say pretty much every player should be in this game outside of maybe a few bigger players that maybe wanted to demand more money. Maybe it's a Caleb Williams type situation. Obviously, Caleb Williams is not going to be in this game. It doesn't matter. He's already off to the NFL. If a player doesn't opt in to EA Sports College Football 25, they'll be filled by a generic avatar player similar to Barry Bonds in the old MLB games. And that's a good example. Barry Bonds was a massive star. Pretty much every other MLB player had opted into it. It was just Bonds, and that's what I think we could see with EA Sports College Football 25, where it's just one or two really big name players. I don't even want to, speculate on who it could potentially be, but at this point, I would say pretty much everyone should be in the game. It'll be interesting, though, if we get rumors on some of the players that might be filtered out of the game and might just be generic. While Air Force, Army, and Navy players are generally not allowed to accept NIL payments, they are expected to be in the game. And of course, it just like there's no reason if you're a college football team, you want to be in this game. To exclude yourself would just be stupid. So, yeah, every FBS team is in. And then we did get the rumor EA Sports Instagram might indicate big broadcast update for College Football 25 video game. You can see their Instagram page, which when this screenshot was taken was only following 16 people. 2 of them were Fox and ESPN. And I would also hope that they would be able to get the graphics package from CBS and NBC. Just preferably it has to be at least one. I'll just take one. I'll just take one graphics package. If you look at how Madden looks right now, it's so bad. There's just no realism to it. I'm sorry. And I actually went back to NCAA basketball 2010. A lot of people probably forget about this, but look at this. Literally the exact same graphics package as CBS. What an amazing presentation that is in 2010 for a college basketball video game. That is what we need. Try and get CBS, well, actually Fox's scoreboard I'm not a big fan of. ESPN, CBS, NBC, any of them. That's going to add so much in terms of realism to this game. It's a very key component, and it was on my wish list. It's one of the biggest things and one of the most key things when it comes to this game, and we would also expect some version of the transfer portal. You can actually see via this tweet a couple of points from the article. Real coaches will not be in the game, at least for the first installment. Kind of annoying there. NIL and transfer portal will be in the game. It'll be interesting to see how they actually have the transfer portal and NIL behave. Can you interact with these things? Will a team get completely destroyed if they lose their coach? Are you able to bribe players? Things like that with NIL. You will not be able to create a player who chooses to not be in the game. And basically what that means is you're not going to be able to, let's say, for example, Jackson Dart doesn't sign the contract and he's not in the game. You cannot create a player to Jackson Dart. It will not allow it. You can change the player to Jackson Darts or, just misspell one letter in his name. That is something that we have seen in previous games. So that's basically how that mechanism works. Only FBS teams will be in the first installment of the game. Over 11,000 contracts are being sent out. Each player will receive $600, and the game will be completely different than Madden, even though it's ran on the same performance system. The playoffs and realignment will be customizable. And obviously, the playoffs and realignment has to be customizable, considering this format, the playoff format, may only exist for the next 2 years, and realignment we're probably going to be getting this summer. So when the game comes out, there's probably going to be realignment in real life, and it's going to have to be updated, everything like that. But either way, that is the main stuff when it comes to this game. I would expect 95+% of the players, probably 99% of the players, to participate in this game. But either way, the other thing people are talking about, who is going to be on the cover. And obviously the cover, it doesn't matter a ton. But in general, I do think I'm about 85% sure it's going to be Nick Saban for a few different reasons. Number one, obviously, there hasn't been a college football game since the 2014 version, and Nick Saban has kind of been the face of the last decade and a half of college football, so it only makes sense if we've missed a decade of this video game being out, why not put the person within the past decade who has kind of been the face of college football, and that is Nick Saban. I think he should be on the standard cover just because NCAA 25, it's like it's coming back. There should be like a special situation. I know everyone wants a player to be on it, but I really can't see any players at this point. Definitely if it came back last year, there would be a big push for Caleb Williams. He was coming off a Heisman win, but now Caleb Williams is not in college anymore. So who do you put on the cover? There's also talks, why don't you put all the Heisman winners on it? I think that'd be another cool thing to do. I'm perfectly fine with that. I do think, it would get a little crowded. There's like 10 winners since the game last released in 2014, but that's another thing that'd be fine if they did that. I think it's going to be one or two of those options, and I would say more than likely it's going to be Nick Saban. There's just no player that's deserving going into this year that's done enough, I believe, that should really be on the cover at this point. So I would expect it to be Nick Saban, but either way, we will see. It'll also be interesting to see how they incorporate this modern recruiting experience into the game, possibly giving you like an updated percent chance to land a player. Like, let's say you get a player on a visit, you invest a lot of time and energy into a certain player, maybe a 5-star or a high 4-star, and your percent chance to land the player goes up, and maybe insiders predict that you're going to land the player and things like that. I'm guessing to some degree they will incorporate that into this video game. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.